I want to start with you, and specifically what it is going to take to open the strait from a military standpoint, from a logistics standpoint, especially as we hear the possibility of peace talks on the one hand, but more troops, more assets headed to the region on the other.
Hey, well, thanks, Morgan. Yes, that's that's really the question that we all want answered, is not just what's it going to take, but how long it's going to take. And so the first thing that I'll say is that, there are two paths open, but war is inherently, or conflict is inherently unpredictable. I mean, that's probably the only certainty about it. So you have the negotiation path, and we'll put that aside for a second and talk about, the options from a military standpoint. You see these forces flowing through the region, the 31st MU, the 82nd Airborne, et cetera. But you also have a change, somewhat an inflection point in the campaign that's ongoing, that CENTCOM is currently doing, meaning they are doing a good job getting at missiles, drones, and the things that they wanted to get at in the country. And it allows them now to shift, if they choose, weight of effort towards opening the straits, where you'd see not just the Navy go in there and help do this, but this entire joint force would have to be part of it if it had to be forcibly opened. And that takes time.
So, Admiral, I want to pull up this map again before I bring in our other guests, and specifically the piece of this that could mean ground operations, because devil's in the details here. But there is talk that what you would potentially need to see is some sort of seizure of some of these islands, for example, along the coast where we have so-called missile cities and drone activity as well. And then, of course, there's the talk about Karg Island as a key tactic, leveraging tactic, key tactic for leverage, and in the wake of, I'm getting myself tongue-tied, negotiations with Tehran. Just the fact that we do have all these Marines headed there. We have 82nd Airborne now, according to numerous reports, headed there. How to think about what boots on the ground could actually mean, and just how prolific that could be when we have seen forever wars and things like that in the past.
Well, certainly boots on the ground raise the risk to the force, right? If you're going to put any boots on the ground, even if it's for a raid temporarily on one of those islands, that's going to increase risk. But the overall idea is to deny Iran's capability to use those islands and those places as a way to stage any kind of attacks on commercial shipping. That's the idea. And you don't necessarily have to have boots on the ground do that. These forces could also help in terms of adding to the force that's already there to help defend anything that's moving through. But they definitely give the commander the capability to do a lot more if they needed to. Unlikely that we'd go in and occupy large portions of Iran or even occupy some of these islands. However, like I said, there may be specific things that need to be done on the ground to nullify that threat you talked about. We used to talk about it as a layered threat, right? A lot can come at you from mines and missiles and cruise missiles and these fast attack craft. But a lot of that's been eliminated already or significantly degraded. So the mission is absolutely executable. The real question is how long does it take to do it, and when can flow be restored?
Okay. So with that in mind, Daniel Tannenbaum, I'm going to bring you into this conversation as well, because we've also had reports that Iran has been charging for rite of passage for some vessels, and we've seen the waiving of sanctions, not only on Russian oil, but now on Iranian oil that's on the water as well.
That's right. And we saw Friday night the president put out a license that authorized pretty much anyone but North Korea, Syria, Crimean parts of Russia that were able to buy Iranian oil. The challenge there is this is actually pushing people off the dollar. Most of this oil was never bound for the U.S. China had historically been the largest purchaser of it, but you're seeing a movement towards settlement outside of the dollarized system, which really makes the U.S.'s ability to sanction, to seize, pretty meaningless.
Interesting. John, I want to get your thoughts on this and what it means for what's potentially, arguably, a repricing longer term of oil here, because even as we release all of these strategic reserves right now, those are going to have to be replenished. And perhaps there's an argument to be made about where geopolitical risk premiums are going to be commanded when you look at different oil contracts.
No doubt, Morgan, and it's good to see you. Importantly, the we're not going to be able to get out of this anytime soon. And as we're seeing with some of the reaction in the oil market to the various, wildly breaking news events, such as this new 14-point plan that's been apparently sent over to the Iranians for a peace deal, you're only seeing oil prices come down. Brent's barely under 100, for example. And that's because the damage is being done, and increasingly so on a daily basis here. The shut-ins among the various OPEC members that are around the Strait, that are before the Strait, so to the left of your map on of Oman here, you have the UAE, you have Saudi, you have Kuwait, you have Iraq. Okay, that's the 20% of world oil people are talking about. They're shutting in their oil production because they have no place to put it. They can't put it on boats, obviously, and they don't have storage for this. They're not built for that. They're like sharks. They have to keep moving and get the oil out. So you're going to see a higher price level. It's unfortunate because we came into this year talking about a glut, potentially, oil prices as low as into the 40s that we hadn't seen or even dreamt about in a long time. That's over for some time now. We're not going to see that, and we're not going to go back to any lower levels. And we run the risk of going back up higher if some of this isn't resolved, particularly if they can't get the Strait open. It's heartening to hear the Admiral say that it's a mission that can be accomplished, but it seems like a very difficult undertaking.
Yeah, and a lot of countries are already being impacted by this, and you're seeing policy pushes, whether it's things like, gas tax holidays, which are being floated here in the U.S. You have rationing in some countries already. Who's the winner in all of this? Is it Russia?
The irony in all of this is it's Russia. I mean, it's reported that they're experiencing their largest weekly income since March of 2022, just after the second invasion of Ukraine. Russia is almost undoubtedly the winner here. And these sanctions relief that were first imposed related to India buying Russian oil, then humanity buying Russian oil, and then the rest of the world buying Iranian oil, all it does is really erode some of the economic statecraft tools of the U.S. and show how transactional they are, that we really give in when there's pressure on the American economy, which doesn't bode well in the near term.